Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rody and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day guys and welcome to episode 154 of All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast. We've got a huge guest. We've got Jake Mcleod, the brains and operation behind Real SA Fishing. Absolutely loves it, works in the tackle industry. It's going to be a good chat with him later on, Rody.
Certainly is, Diz. We're pumped to chat, and it's a bit of an up-and-coming YouTube channel he's got going there, hasn't he, Diz?
Yes, he has. He's got some great content, and I think you're right. I think he's destined for great things on the YouTube platform, so it'd be good to have a chat with him about how he's going about it and some of his highlights of recent trips and that sort of thing. But before we do get onto that conversation with Jake, Rody, we've got a few of our regular segments to get through, and let's start, of course, with our oranges and lemons. My orange for this episode is going to be that we've got the long weekend coming up. I've got it locked away that we're going to do a bit of fishing, and that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah, Diz, my invite must have got lost in the mail because I haven't, got invited on this fishing trip. But anyway, it's okay.
Mate. Sorry, too bad, so sad.
It's going to be hot.
Yeah,
Hope you got some sunscreen, broad-brimmed hat.
43 and 40 or something.
Yeah, it's going to be warm, Diz. Anyway, it's going to be hot, so hopefully you make sure you take plenty of ice because I know what you're like. You're often underprepared. You catch some whiting and you'll have one ice bag and it'll be melted by the time you get out there.
Loose shout. Let's just hope we get the whiting.
Yeah, okay.
What's your orange, Rody?
Dizzy, I'm a bit flat. We're nearly at the end of January and we have not seen any tuna on the Fleurieu or York Peninsulas, really. I know some people have said they've got them a long, long way away, so whether that's south of KI or a long way off the Fleurieu, there's been none locally.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. There's certainly not been a lot of chat now. Of course, these things tend to get kept under wraps pretty tightly. So certainly no reason why you wouldn't get out there and get around it, but we're certainly not hearing anything.
And the hot weather could help. I think that water temperature's starting to get into that zone that they like, and maybe another hot weekend might bring them on.
Yep, good call. Like it. All right, well, my lemon is going to be that it's been very saddening to see the media coverage of the algal bloom in the bottom end. Ethel's beach was some very disturbing images. A lot of dead fish, an enormous amount of foam. I mean, that beach is extremely exposed. So once it's got in there and it was all washing up, it was always going to be pretty nasty. But yeah, very devastating to see that. Of course, our thoughts are with everybody that is being affected, whether that's their business or whatever it might be. Of course, nature itself is suffering, but that's a bit of a downer for me, Rody.
Certainly is, Diz, and we'll touch a bit more on the algal bloom as we always do in the news, but my lemon's very much not fishing related. We talked about the weather being hot this weekend, and I've got a pretty good irrigation system, but I do have some herbs and some pots and things that need a little bit of an extra water now and then, and that's fine, but when it's 42, that becomes a bit of a job.
Yeah.
Do you know what becomes more of a job? When your parents go to Melbourne for 2 weeks, when it's 42. And you got to water 2 gardens.
Oh, rich from you, Pete and Robs.
Oh, I've been around there the last couple of days and it's only getting worse over the weekend.
You're just sort of getting in early, watering now so that you can just sort of keep the ground moist for the 42s coming.
Well, I think I might do a Saturday morning water and then we're going to go down to the beach for a couple of days. So I might get back on Monday and do a little late Monday afternoon water, whatever. Hasn't been fried by then.
Sounds good. Look,
but they do have a pool, so I get a swim when I go. So that's...
Happy days.
Saves it a little bit.
That's it. Now, look, I don't want to pull you up on a technicality here, mate, but if my records are correct, you've given us 2 lemons. Tuna hasn't arrived and you're not happy about watering the garden.
Oh, I have 2.
Where's your orange?
It's been a bad couple of weeks, mate.
Well, we'll let you go on that one. Let's move right on to some of the merch updates and social media. Rody, the Marion Bay boat ramp post that you put up went absolutely gangbusters.
Yeah, it just took off. It's had hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah.
It's in
massive.
What's that, six digits? 5 digits.
Well, if it's had hundreds of thousands,
six digits.
Yeah.
Holy dooly.
6 and 5. You're a bit of a numbers man. I'm surprised you stumbled over that.
I know.
Lots of comments.
Yes, lots of interaction.
Lots of comments.
Not a lot of love for the sort of local council and the engineers. Is that fair to say?
I think so.
I think people are happy that it's better than it was when it was dangerous.
I drove past the McGlashan engineering offices the other day and I thought, ooh, it's pretty lucky that one's not in the York. So I can get a bit of nasty attention. But a lot of comments on the same line. I think, what a waste of money, very disappointing result, et cetera. Now, I think people are happy with, when I say happy, I think the ramp as it is now is okay, but
it's usable now, but it's no better than it was.
That's right. And clearly the sheer disappointment of an enormous amount of waste of money definitely resonated a lot in the comments. So, we'll see. We'll see, won't we?
We certainly will, Diz, and it's that's one that we've shared similar photos to do with that before, and it always takes off.
It does. Well done, mate. Good socials work. Now let's get into some juicy stuff in the news.
Rody and Diz have been searching far and wide to bring you the latest news across all fishing in the state, and we'll give you the rundown on what you need to know.
Righto, Rody, what do you got for us, mate? There's been a bit going on in the news. Of course, we know there's an election coming up, so there's a bit of spruiking around policy and what governments are going to do and how they're going to help recreational fishing and the like. So we're going to cover it all in the news section, but what have you got for us first?
We certainly do, Dizzy, and this one came in, I think, Asher and RecFish were over for Tunarama over in Port Lincoln, and while they were there, they ducked off to meet Peter Malinauskas at the Tod Reservoir, which is just out of Port Lincoln, and some local community members to announce that is going to be open for fishing, Diz, and stocked with trophy-size Australian bass.
Yeah, happy days. What do you reckon? We're going to start having, bass tournaments?
Well, we could, and we might get who's my mate Ben Simmons?
Yeah,
they love them over there in America. Yeah. So that's a good one, Diz. Port Lincoln has, for a long time, had such great saltwater fishing, and that's only going to help their freshwater scene. And it's good to give people, I suppose, another option for when the weather blows, Diz. If you go over there on a fishing trip and it's blowy, what do? You go to Tod Reservoir and catch some Australian bass. So well done to all involved for that one, Diz.
Good call, mate. Very good stuff. What else have we got, Rody?
Another reservoir update, Diz, and this one is down at Myponga. And I actually went to Myponga Reservoir, I think it was between Christmas and New Year, and had a lot of trouble. I've got those photos. I should put them up. But all I did was catch seaweed. Not seaweed. Yeah. Reservoir weed. Is that what you call it?
Some sort of weed matter.
Anyway, so they've secured more access to Myponga Reservoir. So they're going to open up deeper, snaggier water access regardless of water level. So they think they're opening up the area where there's better fishing, Diz, is what the claim is. So there's new kayak launching straight into the busiest, fishiest areas and the main reservoir. They've increased the fish stocking and there's going to be walking trails around to deeper water. So it's going to increase the access potentially to where the fish hide is.
Happy days. That's a good news story.
And it says here work begins immediately. So RecFish SA member Barry Brown was down there. And actually it says here $4.35 million is spent to expand recreational access to Myponga and Tod Reservoir. So there's a fair bit of money, Diz. So, and I'll go give it another crack if I know I'm not going to catch quite so much weed.
Yeah, good call. Well, we'll like you say, it's another option if you're out there wanting to get out there and flick a line and the weather's not playing the game for your offshore or coastal type of stuff. Having that inland option is always worthwhile.
Certainly is, Diz, and looking forward to trying out both those reservoirs. That'd be good. We might, when we go over to the Port Lincoln Tuna Comp, hopefully the bass are ready to go by then.
Not a bad shout. Good stuff. All right, Rody, the next story is, of course, the forum and round 3 opening soon for Let's Go Fishing.
Correct, Diz. So round 3 opens on the 1st of February. So there's another $17.5 grand up for prizes. all of which disappeared in round 2, interestingly enough. After round 1, it went unclaimed. So $10,000 for first, 5 for second, 2.5 for third. You'll have to keep your eyes peeled to see what those fish species are and where they might be. So keep your eyes on all the socials, Diz. But it opens 1st of February. And there's a big event on the 30th of January at 7 p.m, Diz. And that is a meet and greet with former guests of the podcast, Diz. McGlashan and Audi Croft, with a focus on tuna as well as some other tips.
How good.
So that will be a good one, Diz. I think that's down at the Lakes Resort at West Lakes. It is. I've just confirmed. And then the following day, Saturday the 31st of January, they'll be doing some tackle shop meet and greets at Spot On Salisbury, Sport Fishing Scene, Tackle World Adelaide Metro, and Reel and Deal at Glenelg.
Oh, how good's that?
So good to get some genuine gun fishos come and chat at these events, Diz, and come and meet and greet the locals at some tackle shops.
I dare say they'd be popping down to the North Bank factory while they're here.
They may be. That's actually a good call. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Very good stuff. All right, Rhodey, give us the RecFish SA update. As I said, there's an election looming, and RecFish SA has been hard at work with a lot of state government initiatives. Run us through some of the highlights.
Diz, there've been a bit of involvement in those last few posts as well from RecFish, so that was included, but they did do a pretty comprehensive update on their Facebook page, so jump on there if you want to read all of it, but I'll pick out a few things. The Warina Biodiversity Support Reef site has been selected, with installation of reef modules planned to begin at the end of February, so that one's getting soon. There's been a site audit done, and I think one of the diving clubs might be involved in that. It doesn't say here, but I think that was true. And interestingly, Diz, I think the Nature Conservancy that we've had on before is involved in another reef getting put in over on Yorks. Is that right?
Yes.
Which I haven't got right here, but that's another one to keep an eye on. So good to see some of these reefs are going in the water to start to hopefully get these stocks bouncing back a bit more, Diz. They ran a $1,000 instant win tag over at Tunarama, which was really good. They've worked with SA Fisheries officers, and now all rec catches that are inspected are entered in onto the Pursa Rec Fishing app, so that will help to create some more accurate data. 100 more reeling in fishing clinics coming up between now and June 30, which is great. The allocation review committee's had session 4 is completed, and lots more going on, Diz. I know they're still pushing to get the mulloway tags in the water, and they're also, as we've spoken about before, talking about some of those species bag limits that went back to normal, which we spoke about in a couple of podcasts ago, Diz.
Lovely, Rhodey. That's a very good summary of all the happenings there. And like you said, jump onto the RecFish SA Facebook page and all their socials. They'll keep you up to date with all the great work that they're doing. Rhodey, let's talk a little bit about the algal bloom. I mentioned at the top that it was my lemon. It's coming. Well, you know, it's spreading. It's getting pretty bad down at the bottom end of the York Peninsula. There's been some very well documented via the socials page of large fish kills down in the Innes National Park, in Ethel Rec and some other places down there, which has been disappointing very upsetting to see. Rad KI, who we've had on the podcast, also gave a bit of an update, didn't they, Rhodey, about what they're seeing on KI?
Yeah, so it's been pretty sad by the sounds on that sort of northwest coast of KI, and they've documented a lot of that. So good on them. They had some divers. I think that was from the Southern Reef Foundation. I think they were involved in doing some diving, and I think I watched the video that they put up, and maybe they saw more than they thought they might have. There was still some life down there, so that's great. There was also a video that got shared on the socials from Berry Bay, I think, showing some of the sad scenes over there with cloudy water and green-looking water and lots of death. So it's certainly wrapped around that sort of western side of the York Peninsula and into the Spencer Gulf to some extent. How far that goes, who knows? I know there was some algal bloom found in water samples from Wedge Island, so fingers crossed it's not heading that direction towards Port Lincoln, but that, you know, could be where it's heading next. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I'm sure we'll be kept well up to date with all of the happenings and where it's headed to next with all the social and just how much coverage it's getting, really. But look, it's sad to see, and as we said at the top, we hope that everybody that's affected is doing okay, and we'll keep a close eye on that one. But there's still plenty of locations that you can get out and enjoy your fishing. We know that for sure, and we've given plenty of inland options there as well if you can't make it down to the coast. So
and maybe we'll ask Jake if he's heard anything over in Port Lincoln about that Spencer Golf. What's going on?
Good call, Rody. Love that. All right, Rody, what's happening with free tackle boxes? Where can I get one?
Dizzy, I know Tackle World Port Lincoln's got them.
Yep.
I know Tackle World Port Augusta's got them. There's quite a few independent tackle shops. I don't have the whole list here, but it's a great promotion they're running, Diz. I think I want to say it might be worth $34.95. I think I read that.
That'd be about right.
And it's run by Let's Fish Australia, so they've put the money in. And all you have to do, Dizzy, is spend how much do you reckon you got to spend to get a $35 tackle box, kids tackle box?
Probably something just outlandishly good, like $5 or something.
$10.
$10.
So go in and buy a pack of lures, a couple of sinkers, and $10 disappears pretty quickly. And any child who spends $10 will receive a free 1-tray tackle box.
Happy days, and that'll just really get them into it, won't it?
So jump on the website. Let's Fish Australia is behind a lot of this, and I think the government of South Australia is involved. And big thank you to a lot of local tackle stores. So jump online and have a look whether your local store has got them in. But that's a good way to get your kids into fishing, Diz.
Certainly is, Rody. Certainly is, mate. It's very good indeed.
All right, Diz, what do we got next? Should we get in our tackle item of the week?
I think we should, mate. Let's get into it.
Now it's time for Rody and Diz to really show you what it means to have all the gear with a lot of idea as they review a tackle item of the week.
All right, Dizzy, we have got the Shimano tackle bag, large tackle bag, we probably should say. Is that better English, is it?
Well, you can certainly fit a lot of tackle in it.
And we're giving one away.
Oh, of course we are.
We might save that to the end of the episode, Diz, will we?
I think so.
But let's talk about the tackle bag. So it's $174 recommended retail price. It is super heavy-duty, water-resistant materials. It's finished with reinforced handles and tough zippers. It's certainly made to look like it will keep your gear very well organised when you go offshore. Heaps of compartments. You fit all your tackle trays in the middle. It's got a nice little shoulder strap, Diz, so you can pack it full of lead and jigs and all that heavy stuff. And it's got a nice padded shoulder bag. And it's got those that I also like on the Shimano tackle range. They've got really sturdy zips.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I hate those flimsy little zippers that rust and go no good. These are proper zippers.
Yeah, and you get in, maybe you get on someone's boat or you might go down fishing with them and you can tell they've got an inferior product when those zips are gone and they're, like they say, they're rusty as and you can't get into them easily. That never happens with the Shimano kit.
They must inject them with WD-40 to stop them from rusting. There's got to be something going on because you're right.
They just slowly leaches a little bit of WD-40 every time.
They're just durable and they last years. It's great. I'm not even talking rubbish here.
Yeah, they're a great piece of kit.
They're also available in smaller sizes as well, I should mention. But we've got a big one, a large one to give away, Diz. And like I say, it's $174 worth of tackle bag, and we're going to give one away. So keep tuned. And it's nice colours too. I like the colour range. Nice black, nice sort of, what would you say, a nice bright blue Shimano logo.
Yeah.
There's nothing. You remember you used to have that white tackle bag?
Horrible.
How dirty did that get? Yeah. I don't know why, actually.
And
I don't know why he got that. I got covered in squid ink and it went gross. Black is a good colour for a tackle bag.
Glad to have upgraded to some premium Shimano gear now. So that's a win for all involved.
Make sure you listen to the end of the show and you'll hear how you can win that one, Diz.
Good call, Rody. Love that, mate. All right, well, that just wraps up the tackle item of the week. Now, we, as we said at the top of the episode, we've got a great guest in Jake here who is going to talk to us about all things on his social channels, Real SA. Let's give the guy a call.
Now it's time to get our guest on the line. We'll ask them the all-important 5 questions, then chat all things fishing in SA.
All right, Rody, we are very lucky to be joined now by Jake, the man behind Real SA and all of the social channels associated with that. Mate, it's great to have you on the line. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Jake, we're going to get into our 5 questions we ask all our guests, and we've seen a fair bit of your work on social media, so we know this is going to be a good one, but tell us about your best fish.
Yeah, this is actually a tough one, a very tough one. There was like quite a few candidates, and I went back and forth, but I still can't beat like a big southern bluefin tuna. And then I was lucky enough to get a proper giant out from Port Lincoln here, which was pretty, it's pretty good. It was about 133 kilo, which is it's a big fish. It's not as big as they do get, but it's not the big or out of Port Lincoln, like out of here. They're just extremely rare. We've only had probably 2 seasons where we've been able to target them, and this year we didn't even get them. So the year before that, and it was one of like the first fish caught off Port Lincoln, which just made it a lot more special.
And tell us,
it was like a lot of trips put in to get that fish too.
Yeah, beautiful. You talk about other bigger ones getting caught. What's the biggest you've heard of getting caught off Port Lincoln?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's the biggest official weighed one in Port Lincoln.
Sorry, you just dropped out. What weight was it?
It was 133 kilo. Yeah, I think that's the biggest officially weighed one in Port Lincoln. It depends, because there was a lot of boats leaving Port Lincoln, but fishing like the grounds out from like Marriott, like Althorpes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know if do you class that as a Port Lincoln fish? Like you are leaving from the boat ramp, but it's fishing very west. So this was a proper local fish. And then that's the biggest one we've officially weighed here in Lincoln. So yeah, I mean, down the southeast, there's been a couple of 150, 160 kilo fish, like absolute monsters. But it's a little bit more common, I'd say. Not maybe that size, but to get barrels and year after year, that was probably bound to happen. But yeah, it was pretty good. And it was one of the first, I think it was like the second fish caught here in Port Lincoln as well. So yeah, it was pretty spectacular. And it was maybe 10 or 15 trips put in, and it was one of them fish that you don't know if you will ever get the chance to catch again. It was such a weird run of fish that we got. We had that weird upwelling where we had all that cold water come up. It was just like the perfect kind of conditions that brought them back. And we hadn't had them here for the last 10, 15, maybe 20 years. That, it could have been that last fish, that last trip kind of thing. And then going by last year that we didn't get any, who knows if they're going to come back. So
yeah, let's hope so.
Definitely. Yeah, we're praying. We are praying.
Let's absolutely hope so. There's some amazing, obviously amazing fishing, and being able to target those fish out from Lincoln just adds another amazing element to the fishery down there. Now, Jake, tell us your favourite thing about fishing, mate.
I think it's just all the cool stuff you get to see. The fish are cool. Don't get me wrong, I love catching fish, but there's so much more to it. You get to see so much just spectacular wildlife. The amount of whales we get to see out here, the dolphins, the stuff you just don't get to see too much. Just went fishing on the weekend, and we had I had a 9-foot bronzy and a 6-foot bronzy just around the Burley Bag by the rocks, swimming laps. It's just that cool kind of spectacle stuff that you get to see, which you don't normally do. It's just, and it's so random and nature wise, it's really always takes us by surprise. That's the cool bit about fishing. I love when a plan comes together and get a structure stuff, and it's very rewarding. But it's something the unpredictable of nature, being on the ocean and all the cool stuff you get to see, that makes it really worth it.
Yeah, beautiful. That's a common answer we get, Jake. So you're not the only one, but it is great nonetheless. Now tell us, what was your first fishing memory, or what got you into it?
I got two older brothers that love fishing, same as my dad. So we are like a big fishing family. So we used to do when I was really young, we always used to go to Venus Bay on the west coast for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks every year since I was like 4 or 5. So I think my first fishing memory was on Venus Bay Jetty, and my dad handed me the rod and said, "Don't wind," and I just instantly started winding. And then there was like a salmon on the rod, and he was like, I remember he was kind of getting mad at me, and then seeing the fish, and he was like, "Oh wow!" Like pleasantly surprised. I've obviously just had no idea and just started cranking, but just that would have been one of the first fishing memories. But the jetties back then were where I used to live, and spent a lot of time, and it was so much fun back then.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And at the moment, what's your favourite sort of fishing and why?
I don't have a favorite form of fishing. I was just thinking about that. Like it's so seasonal. Like, I'm probably obsessed with flathead at the moment, and like we have a flathead season probably like March, April, May that that I look forward to. Which is ridiculous to say, considering we just come off like kingfish season, and I was having a ball catching a bunch of big kings, and now like I just can't wait to go catch a flathead, and it's just such polar opposite. And then like now, like we're in offshore season. I'll go out chasing tuna and stuff like that. Like they all have their little niches and stuff that I enjoy. I don't think there is a real like particular form of fishing that like I stands out that I really enjoy, which is it's very funny to say that like I can compare stick baiting for kings, and then I'll go stick bait for yellowfin whiting and have just as much fun.
I think that sums up you guys living over in Port Lincoln. You've got too many options.
There is. There honestly is. Like there's every day I could go do something different and it's just as enjoyable. Like it's very interesting like that.
And we just mentioned in the fishing report you're getting some Australian bass, so you got another species coming too.
Oh, that's it. I can't wait. We were making jokes and be like a professional bass fisherman. I was wearing one of them Bass Pro hats.
Well, we said the same,
overhead. Like that's going to be incredible when that opens. That's like a whole nother fishery that, we can't love. Like obviously, like for everyone, Australian bass is on the bucket list of fish to catch. But it's going to be really cool to have it down here.
Yes, certainly will. We're looking forward to getting over and giving it a whirl one day. Now tell us, Jake, what is your funniest fishing story, or tell us about the one that got away?
I don't. The ones that get away are the ones that are funny and the ones that haunt you. And we did have, it's probably my last shot at Kings this year, and we had a big one explode by the boat, which would have been probably 30 kilo, like a big topwater king, and fought it for about, I got it all on video too, and fought it for about probably 20 minutes and pulled hooks, which was very hilarious to the mate who was in the boat with. It's a running joke because I haven't stopped thinking about it, I reckon, every day for the last probably 3 months. And you get them like funny like Instagram reels that pop up about thinking about that fish you lost on a random Tuesday morning, and it's just like constant, just like that same fish, and it's gonna haunt me for years, I reckon. It's just it's a funny thing about fishing; it'll keep you coming back. Like if I did land it, I wouldn't have the bug to keep going out there and trying again. So it is, it's very frustrating.
True, for sure. Now, mate, thank you very much for answering those 5 questions. Let's get stuck into some of the other stuff that you spend most of your time down there in Lincoln. So let's start by telling us a bit about your job down there. So you work in Tackle World Port Lincoln. Tell us about your day-to-day in the shop there, mate.
So I obviously work at Tackle World here in Port Lincoln. Before that, I used to work at Tackle World in Salisbury, and then we moved it to Mildura. So I've always been in the tackle kind of industry. It's a really cool job. It's a pretty fun job. It's pretty rewarding. Obviously, I love helping people catch fish and try to get out and enjoy the wildlife. And that's what the whole YouTube thing's about too, as well, is trying to get a lot more people fishing and seeing what we have on offer. So that's pretty much what I spend most days doing is, helping people with rigs and setups and drawing maps and showing them where to go and catch fish. And that's like one of the most rewarding things is like, I just almost take it a little bit for granted. I have so many people who come in and be like, oh, them lures you sold me the other day, fantastic, blah, blah, blah. Like, caught a bunch of fish on them, like maps. It's really good, that kind of aspect. And then you got the retail aspect, which is very similar to a normal job, as, stock and reporting and all that kind of stuff, which is the least exciting thing about it all, but it's really the customer interactions and stuff that really make the job rewarding. And
Yeah.
lucky enough in the fishing industry, everyone that I see is going out fishing, so they're having a good time. Very rarely you see someone that's not have a smile on their face or is down or gloomy. Working in the leisure industry, everyone's pretty happy, and
Yeah.
so it's always a positive environment to be around.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Even with all whatever's, the negative aspects of fishing in South Australia at the moment, everyone still seems pretty positive about it, which is, it's really nice to see.
Beautiful. And you're having a good year over there in Port Lincoln. You're having a good season. And I also saw you've now got some free tackle boxes for kids.
Yeah, the free tackle box we've already done. Even today, probably gave around 15 or 20 tackle box to kids. So it's like already such a good incentive for them to get out. Everyone, we've had quite a few little kids buying little lures and squid jigs, and pretty excited to be stocking out their own tackle box and get it going. I even remember, when I was young, buying my own tackle box and had my own gear, and it's really exciting. It's definitely getting a lot more kids out and fishing. And then, it's a great thing over here. We haven't had much of the algae bloom whatsoever. So our fishing and our coastline's still crystal clear and full of fish. So everyone's really enjoying it.
So you still haven't seen any of the algae coming your way, Jake?
No. I haven't personally seen any kind of dirty water or dead fish or anything like that. It's still been beautiful. Touch wood. Who knows what will happen in the future, but at the moment, it's still fantastic.
Beautiful. Now, Jake, tell us about the YouTube and the social media accounts you've sort of set up fairly recently. Tell us about them and how they're going.
All gone really well. So obviously I got a YouTube channel called RecFish SA, and that pretty much just started as, I guess, the start of the algae bloom and stuff like that, where it gets, the other double-edged sword of working in the tackle shop. I have a lot of people coming through asking if fish are okay to eat, if there's still fish in the ocean, that kind of stuff. And then I came from a background where my mum's a professional photographer. She loves doing a lot of videography and that kind of stuff. And I always used to film a lot of my fishing stuff anyway, just for personal records. So I thought I'd try to put a little positive spin on it and show how good fishing in South Australia is and how our coastline's still tracking. And it's not all possible, doom and gloom. I'm not trying to downplay the situation, but it's still really good fishing. So I made a couple of videos and just put them out there, and I wasn't really half expecting them to go as well as they did, but everyone's been so supportive and so happy with them. It's pretty weird experience, to be honest. How I get obviously a lot of people through the shop and message me saying they love the videos and they can't wait for more and they love watching them. And the little kids come through and shake my hand, which is the strangest thing. But it's obviously been very positive, and it's a pretty cool experience too. And it gives me another reason to go fishing as well, and maybe not do things I usually do much of. Very rarely I'd go down the rocks and film catching garfish or something like that, but people really enjoy it, and it gives me another reason to go fishing and get out there as well.
Yeah, awesome, mate. That was actually one of your videos I was going to ask you about, because when you went down to the rocks there catching gars, you were using those fake maggots versus the real ones, and it was you did all right on the fake ones, didn't you?
Yeah, I was very surprised. That was my first proper time trying them too. And that's the cool thing about working in the shop. We get heaps of products that come through, they're just brand new, and people ask if they work or blah, 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 if I use them. And then most of the time, I tell them, of course they work, I've used them, but there's no proof.
Yeah.
There's no proof. And now I can be if you actually have a little look at this, they do work, and I was blown away. Like, I love taking my wife and partner fishing, and she loves garfish too, but she hates dealing with maggots, which
Yeah,
is fair
fair.
enough. Like, it's not something you want to take your kids and give them a handful of maggots and put on the hook. So, like, the soft plastic ones were a bit of a no-brainer, and I was, very surprised with how good they worked. It pretty much blew me away, actually. It was, very, very good.
Beautiful. And Jake, you've got a few shark videos and you've obviously done a fair bit of shark fishing over the years. What's your biggest shark you've ever caught?
I've got quite a few over 10 foot, like I think a 10'6" properly measured.
Yeah. Good fish.
And then a lot of times when I was young, it was more just estimating, kind of guesstimating kind of thing. But there was a couple of proper big girls. Shark fishing was something, I used to do a lot when I was younger. I don't do as much as it now, probably just with time and a lot of other species and stuff. But I definitely do like shark fishing. It's quite an underrated game fish here in South Australia. And it's something we can do when the wind is up, which is like 80% of the time when it's blowing a gale. It's like the only thing you can really do. And the sharks love it when it's windy too. So just another reason to not sit at home when it's shitty and windy. I can go out and catch some fish still. So it's great for that.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Now, the other thing we wanted to ask you about is how the tuna fishing is going over there, because we've seen quite a few reports of them getting them on the West Coast and the likes, but we haven't really heard too much, a bit more locally to Adelaide around the Fleurieu and York. So tell us what's the word on the street down there, mate?
Yeah, so the tuna gone great here. They're everywhere. But that's the same thing as heard. It's not too many down at Victor and down your way, but the whole West Coast, so like, Streaky, Elliston, heaps of tuna, and then around Coffins, there's plenty from Little Rocky, which is off like Point Drummond, to Point Sir Isaacs, Reef Head, Greenleaf, Rocky, and then out from Lincoln. We don't have too many inshore grounds, like around Williams Island, back at Thistle. There has been fish caught there, but they're in better numbers out from like Low Rocks, the Cabbage Patch. Cabbage Patch is where there seem to be the biggest fish too. But there's no shortage of tuna here, like at the moment. So who knows whether in a week or two they pop up at, Victor Harbour and stuff. But every year's different. Sometimes they're at Victor Harbour first before we really get a good run here. And then I guess this year we've had a really good run so far where not many people have honestly missed out. The average size is pretty small. I've seen some really almost 1 kilo tuna.
I saw some of those little ones. They're funny looking things, aren't they?
Oh, they're so, they're really cool to look at. They got different kind of stripe patterns through them. They're interesting when they're that juvenile. And then we've had a couple of 20, 25 kilo fish caught too. So it's a wide range of sizes at the moment. But it's tuna's going really good, and they'll be here until we caught them in April. So we've still got quite a few months of some nice tuna fishing at the moment.
Beautiful. Well, Jake, if you wouldn't mind heading out there and sending him over our way, that'd be good. Give him a map, give him a street directory, and tell him we'd love a few off Yorks and the Fleurieu, if that's all right.
I'd say there would be fish at the back of Wedge and back of Althorpes and stuff now. You would think there would be. If they're at Low Rocks and stuff, there would be. Maybe just not in big numbers at the moment, but definitely should be. This weekend, everyone will find out.
There'll be plenty out this weekend. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, that's been really good to chat to you about all things Port Lincoln and your social media. Give yourself a quick plug. Tell people where to find you.
Yeah, so you can find me at Real SA on YouTube and Real SA Fishing on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Sounds good. Well, keep up the great work. Certainly everything we've seen, we've been absolutely loving, and it's great to hear that everyone's getting around you locally and further afield, mate. Keep up the great work, and thanks for having a chat with us two blokes on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, no problems. Thanks for having me. I'm sure I will see you again very soon.
Thanks,
Sounds
mate.
Good to have a chat with Jake there, Roddy.
Certainly was, Diz. Love chatting to people from Port Lincoln because they've got so many options. Does make me a bit jealous, though.
I know every time I talk to someone from Port Lincoln, whether it's on the podcast or otherwise, you do sort of start to think to yourself, could I just uproot my life and head over to Lincoln. But
Plenty of pharmacies over there, mate.
oh, it's a lovely part of the world. Lovely part of the world. All right, Roddy, let's wrap that one up there and let's get into the fishing report, mate.
Rody and Diz have been out on the water to bring you the news about where they're biting. Now it's time for the fishing report.
All right, Dizzy, we are going to start down on the Coorong with the Kingston Southeast Surf Fishing Contest, which was held last weekend, Diz. And it was a great event by all reports, Diz. There was 712 total entries. That's a fair few people fishing it.
Raging success. That is a good number of entries, and it is a very popular fishing comp.
It is, Diz, and there were 59 fish caught. So not a lot, but we know surf fishing is hard work.
It is hard going.
So 12 mulloway, 16 scale fish. What do you reckon they are? Probably Australian salmon? Maybe snapper?
Could be
they do get a few
occasional
snapper off.
Yeah.
Off there. 16 shark and 15 in the junior fish category, Diz.
Yeah, nice. That's good. Look, going down there, of course, catching fish is a bonus. It's always a bonus when you catch fish, but going down there is a really good time and you have a wonderful trip away with your mates and you're camping and all that fun stuff. So it's always good fun.
All right, Diz. And the winner was Morgan Treneman from Kingston. He caught a 24.7 kilo mulloway.
Wow.
Good fish. And second was 19.9. Third was 12.7. So some good fish caught there, Diz.
Yeah, that is good going.
Oh, and actually it's got it here. There were 2 snapper caught over 9 kilos.
Well, they're good. That's good fish.
They're good size snapper there, Diz. And there's always a great prize. There's always a tinny up for grabs, I reckon, and there was again this year.
Yeah. You'd love walking away from that comp with a tinny, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, that'd be epic, Diz. And that's something we should do again. We should do another Coorong camping, fishing type event.
Yep. Couldn't agree with you anymore, Rody. Good stuff. All right, Rody, what's happening in the tuna department? Where are they?
Dizzy, like I said earlier, they're not on Yorks and they're not on the Flurio.
Hopefully they're coming.
I don't know if you've been. We know they're still getting them over on the West Coast.
Yep.
In pretty good numbers, Diz.
Certainly sounds that way, yes.
They've been getting them there for a while.
Yeah.
So you would think that they're heading in this direction. And like we say, this hot weather could bring them in as the water temperature warms up. I have heard a few people say they have seen bait.
Yes.
And we know that there has been some seen or caught or reported sort of south of KI.
Yeah.
So they're getting closer, Diz. I think they'll be here at some point, but they're not here yet.
Yeah, we'll keep our ear close to the ground on that one. But I know there's definitely been some people out there over the summer holidays, like you say, out looking for them, doing some other bits and pieces. And some reports have come back like no bait, no sign of them, nothing in some of their usual haunts. So it'll be interesting to watch this one closely. One thing we do know about tuna is that they do, change a little bit each year. Sometimes they'll rock up in this location. It really just depends where the bait is and the water temps and everything else. So it could just be a later season, Rody.
And Diz, this could be uneducated, but I think the seasons are getting later in general. Don't you reckon December is often not that hot now?
Yeah.
We're getting hotter weather in like February, March than we are in December, January.
Well, it did feel like really only probably about 3 or 4 years ago maybe that it was like Boxing Day or Christmas Eve.
We've caught them before Christmas off Victor.
Off Victor. Yeah. So there's definitely been years where the fish have rocked up, early December.
But it does seem like the season's getting later more years than not at the moment. But who knows, Diz?
Yeah.
Actually,
that's true.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, Diz, we should. The other thing I actually talking about seasons and things like that. The squid have gone missing, and do you know when we last caught squid? February 21. Us personally.
Really?
That was when we went off Cape Jarvis and caught them.
Oh, was it? There you go.
And I'd like someone to tell me, has any individual caught a squid in this Gulf since then?
Yeah, well, it's a good question because I think it must have been around that time that Dad had been out there fishing, and it was they were catching them hand over fist, and then it was like I reckon we were there for the June long weekend.
Nothing was there.
We could not lose a bait
No.
fishing, and we could not catch a squid anywhere, and it was literally like maybe 2 to 3 weeks before that it was like every boat was bagging out on squid. And that was where that boat got done for
Yeah, it
taking
was.
like 4 esky fulls of squid.
Yeah. So if anyone's caught one in this Gulf since, let's say, Easter or around about then, please let us know. We'd love to hear.
Yeah, good shout.
And Diz, whiting's going well on Yorks?
Yeah, good whiting numbers. Probably the bottom end of Yorks now. People maybe not so much getting them. Haven't heard too many reports and the likes, but certainly the algal down there is probably slowing them down. But the other Gulf does still seem to be fishing quite well. I've heard people getting them Moon to Port Hughes, Balgowan, some of those places.
Yeah. And the other thing that's having a bumper summer is the crayfish, Diz.
Yes.
Both the bottom end of Yorks, Eyre Peninsula, Port Lincoln Way, and the southeast. There's been plenty of crays, both for those using nets. Actually, I saw someone getting them on drop nets. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? And diving as well, Diz. So plenty of crayfish about.
Yes.
But I'm sure we'll have a bigger and better fishing report after the big long weekend, Diz. Everyone will be out and about.
Yes, they will, mate. They will. We'll keep our. We'll report back at our next episode, mate. That'll be good.
All right, Diz, that's been a good episode. Great to chat with Jake from Port Lincoln and get an update on all things social media and fishing over there, Diz. And good to chat fishing in general.
Yes, always good, mate. Everyone knows where to find us. We don't need to take too long on this one, but you'll keep us up to date with everything on Facebook and Insta, and all the listeners out there can find us on anywhere you get your podcasts.
See you guys.
Rody and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.